Hey, buddies. Hey, buddies. Welcome to another Weird Blues Tales, where I tell you true stories about weird stuff that happened to me while I play a little guitar for you. And today, we're going to finish up from, this is episode 10, we're going to finish up from episode 9, the continuation of that story, which as I left you, I was hiding out at Lake Deweese with my son and trying to get my lawyer to do something so I wouldn't go to jail. And in the meantime, there was headlines in the state Rocky Mountain newspaper: axe murderer at large, shoot to kill, armed and dangerous. I didn't even have a comb. And again, there was no axe, nobody died. So here we go. I'm up at the lake. I'm freaking out. My son's there. We got groceries. We're cooking and eating, but I'm freaking out. I'm working the phone. There's no cell phone, and there's a phone in the cabin I'm renting, a landline thing, and I'm trying to get my lawyer to get a deal where I can turn myself in and surrender and not have to go to jail until, trial or whatever. So eventually, after 6 days, my lawyer makes an agreement. To where the bondsman meets me at the sheriff's office and I surrender and I don't have to go to jail. I can just go home on bond and wait for trial. And I'm home. Well, I find out that, because I didn't know what happened to this guy. I thought I hurt him real bad. There was blood everywhere. I didn't want to hurt him. If I wanted to hurt him, I would have hurt him, but I didn't want to. So I was all freaked out about this. So come to find out, I was pulling him out of the car. I had him by the calf, basically, and I'm pulling him out. He had dove through the window, and his legs were hanging out the window of the Buick. And he's on the passenger side of the car. He's underneath the driver's seat. Looked to me like he was trying to get a weapon. He was underneath the seat trying to get something. I don't know, but I'm pulling him out. And I'm beating his ankle bone with that hammer side of the hatchet. And while I'm doing that, he stuck his hand out there. And he got caught between the sharp side of the hatchet and the top of the window, and it cut the webbing on his hand. So that's what happened to him. Apparently this bleeds a lot when you get this cut. But he wasn't injured even badly. I mean, Anyway, he told the state patrol that I had an axe. I was trying to kill my wife. As the axe was coming down on her neck, he stuck his hand out there and he saved her. Oh, what a hero. Well, this guy was a real piece of work. Anyway, if you watch episode 9, which you should do, you'll know that my wife and him were out on these Deadhead concerts going all over the place, and he's selling psychedelic substances to the dead and their entourage and the people there, and which is fine as long as my kid's not there. And they were having basically orgies in front of my son. So he didn't want to go with them, and so this is how all this started. They were trying to take my son by force, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So he got hurt, even though I didn't want him to. But I'm at home about 6 days, and I get a phone call, and it's this guy, Randy, was his name. And he tries to extort me. He says he won't show up and testify against me. He'll leave town. He doesn't live there. He just follows the dead around the United States. And he won't testify if I give him $20,000. Well, I didn't have $20,000. Number one. Number two, I thought I had a really good case. I had witnesses there that saw everything. I'm thinking self-defense, right? Well, there's a law in Colorado. It's called the law of retreat. And if somebody attacks you, but then they retreat, you can't chase them. Well, he didn't retreat. He went to go get a weapon and come back. My wife wasn't there. She didn't leave with them. She was there getting the dog, which was the smartest one of the three. So in my mind, he wasn't retreating. He was going for a weapon. And I mean, the fact that he was trying to get something out from under the driver's seat after he dove through the passenger seat should tell anybody with common sense that this guy's going for a weapon. He either had a gun or something. I don't know. I never saw it, but I find out, that he's trying to extort me and whatnot. And there were people there. I had a little cassette answering machine, and I put it on speakerphone. I wish I would have recorded it, but so I had this guy, witnesses trying to, hearing him trying to extort money from me and stuff. I figure I got a good case. In the meantime, I get a different lawyer because this new guy, Rocco McConey, who turned out to be really cool, he's in a different county, and it's better if you get a lawyer that operates in the county where your event happened. Okay, so I get Rocco McConey, and he's doing a good job. We go to jury selection. We go through all the court stuff, preliminary hearings, arraignment, all that. We select jury. We're going for it. And the DA, who turned out to be a crook, and we'll get into that, offers me a deal. Because they had me charged with second-degree assault, which could get me 20 years. He says, if you plead guilty to fourth-degree assault, I'll ask the judge for probation. It'll all be good. Well, it sounded good. I'm talking to Rocco, and he's like, yeah, we got a good case, man. We can probably beat this. But you never know what a jury's going to do. If they get a hair up their butt and they find you guilty, you could do 10 to 20. You could do some hard time. Oh, man, the most I ever did was 10 days for driving under suspension. So, I'm not a big jail guy. I'm not a major criminal. I mean, I did some bad stuff when I was young, but I'm not into jail. Okay, so this probation thing sounds like a good deal, and so we accept it. And now the judge used to be the district attorney in my county, and he hated me. His name was Anderson, and he swore, I'm going to make sure you go to jail. No matter how long I live, I'm going to make sure I see you behind bars, which he was never able to do as a DA. Well, now he's judge in the neighboring county. And that's who I got. I should have recused him, but I knew him to be a fair man. So he'll do it. If I'm not guilty, he'll be fair. So we went to this, and we go to court. I plead guilty to fourth-degree assault, which is a gross misdemeanor. I can still load guns. The only thing I can't do is run for president, which is kind of weird if you think about what's going on these days. Anyway, so yeah, I plead guilty, and what does the DA do? He goes up and asks for the maximum 5 years. He screwed me hard, and the judge is yelling at me. You're a maverick and a paladin, and we can't have people like you in our state, and you need to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, God, he's going to slam me hard. I'm going to do some bad time here. This is awful. He gives me 60 days. And I did my time in the oldest operating jail at that time in the United States. It was built in 1860, I believe. That was a little rough. Anyway, so they gave me 30 days to get my business together, and then I got to check into jail. Off to jail I go. So I was having some medical problems, and I needed some tests where they knock you out. Okay. So the guards at the jail were driving me 60 miles to the hospital to have these tests done. And while we were there, the guards liked me. It was kind of cool. But while we were there, they called my mom. My mom met us at the hospital. And then after I was done, I was really groggy. I mean, they knocked me out. So I'm kind of, but I'm hungry. Okay, so my mom takes us out to dinner to this Mexican restaurant, buys us all dinner, me, the guards, and my mom, and we're all eating. It's all good. But we get back to the jail, and we got to go through all these locks and stuff to get in. And he didn't handcuff me, was in the car. But as soon as I got to the jail, by law, his regulation said I had to be handcuffed and shackled by my feet, too. But as soon as I got out of the jail, or right before I got out of the jail, he kept me loose and drove me around. And they were good to me. They knew I was going to escape or anything. It was kind of weird. But anyway, so I'm all shackled. I got the ankles on. I got the bracelet here, and I got the thing going between my legs. And okay, they buzz me, I'm buzzing the thing, and the guards behind me, and they're like, okay, who is it? Give your code number. And I'm like, I'm never gonna dance again the way I dance with you. And I'm out there just waxed and singing, and they're laughing their butts off. And okay, so anyway, they liked me. So I made trustee in about 11 days, and I'm running hot water and food and medicines and stuff between 3 floors. Okay, and they're the first floor was administration. The second floor was all people going to prison, like the big major state prison, or getting out of the state prison. So this was kind of like a holding tank for the pen. All right. And the third floor was guys like me doing county time. All right. So, I met a lot of people, and there was like weird stuff going on the second floor. I mean, it was rough. My floor was like really cool. And it was neat. I mean, the jail had like a big caged area with, normal bars like you see in the movies, right? But around that caged area was a big walkway about 5 feet wide, going all the way around it on 3 sides. And on the other side of that walkway were these big windows, like 7, 8 feet tall windows that were about 3.5, 4 feet wide. And you could see all over. You could see the mountains, because we're on the 3rd floor, right? So you could see all over. These guys had these towels. I mean, and they were just innovative, all right? I mean, these guys, necessity is the mother of invention. These guys had those towels. They could do some crazy stuff with it. Anyway, they'd get their hands out the bar with the towel, and they'd catch that window, and they'd open those windows. And the guards didn't mind this. I mean, you could have the windows open. You couldn't escape because you're still behind the bars, right? But you get some fresh air, and you could see all over, man. It was great. So, I mean, if you had to be in jail, it wasn't too bad of a place to be in jail. It wasn't like we got to go outside or anything, but you could see outside and you got fresh air. All right, so I'm in there. And I meet an old guy named Mikey. Mikey was about 63 or so when I met him. And he owned a paint company. He painted houses. and he painted the DA's house, this same crooked DA, fish feces. And the DA didn't like the job, of course. And he'd paid Mikey $5,000 and wanted his money back. Well, Mikey paid his help and his equipment and whatnot, paid some of his bills. He didn't have $5,000 left, just laying around. And this DA wanted it right now. So Mikey wrote him a bad check, and it was no good. So the DA prosecuted him, which is totally, conflict of interest, man. You can't prosecute somebody that you're the victim. But he did. And he gave Mikey 5 years in prison. So Mikey's getting ready to be sent to a pen. He's there. I'm talking to him. I'm getting to know him. He gets out. I mean, I got out, and then later he got out. He didn't get out. They sent him to the pen up in Golden. Now, when you're in jail, if you're a man, you don't get to see women. Like, you might get to see them on TV or something, but it's a sausage fest, okay? And you do anything just to look at a woman just in the air, not through a glass or not on a screen, right? I mean, just to keep your humanity going there, right? So anyway, I started going up and visiting him. And I'd bring him, they sent him up to Golden. I'd bring him a carton of cigarettes, and I'd always bring a woman with me. We didn't have like the glass between us. They let us visit in a visiting room. They had cameras and stuff, but yeah, he could smell her. I mean, he never touched these ladies or anything. There wasn't anything like that going on. But I never bought anybody else cigarettes, but this guy was in jail. So he's 63. So if he wanted to smoke, God bless him. I brought him cigarettes, and I brought him a woman to look at. And I'd do this every 2 or 3 months. I'd go see him. Anyway, one day I get a phone call, and it's Mikey. And he says, you're getting an envelope sent to you. And when you get it, you need to contact this CBI agent. And you need to turn it over to him. I'm like, okay. And he goes, and you need to tell him that we got an undercover agent here. And all the prisoners are aware of him. And they plan on killing his twin daughters. So they need to pull him out before he gets hurt or his daughters get hurt. So I did this. I turned over the envelope. I turned over the information. They pulled the guy out. They saved his daughters. Everything was good. All right. But I looked in the envelope. And inside the envelope were this whole documentation on this DA. Dates, times, places, photographs. It's got him sticking C up his nose off of somebody's dashboard. Okay, it's got all kinds of incriminating photos like that. Right? He had this C dealer that if he got caught, the DA would let him go and then bust his competition. Right? So this guy was crooked to the max. All right. I mean, there was more. I don't want to go into it, but yeah, I mean, this guy was really dirty. So, you screwed me. You screwed Mikey. Shaft him. All right. So I turn all this stuff over. It's all good. A couple years goes by. All right. I actually got my GED, started going to college, and then some bad stuff happens. Imagine that, if you can believe that. So I'm living out on the prairie, like to hell and gone, like halfway to Kansas, literally. All right. And got this HUD apartment that I was getting for $18 a month. It was brand new. Nobody lived in it. It's a 2-bedroom on the second floor. I'm going to tell you about that place sometime. There was some weird stuff at that place. But one morning, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, there's a knock on my door. Well, this is weird. Nobody ever comes and sees me except for these 2 ladies that lived across the way. And they wouldn't be over there at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. So I answer the door, and it's 2 CBI agents with their suits on and stuff, right? I'm like, okay, what? I'm not awake. What can I do for you? And okay, we're getting ready to move on this DA. We're going to bust him. You need to leave the state right away. Okay. So I moved to Seattle. And I was up there for 5 years. And we got some stories about that. Okay, but there you go. He did us, we did him. I ended up getting full custody of my son. I was the main custodian. I got to tell you that in between the time I videoed episode 9 and I'm videoing this right now, my wife passed away. My son's mom passed away. I just got to tell you that she was a good lady. She had some mental health problems and wasn't her fault. But once she got some help and got her act together, she was a good mom. She was a good lady. And it's very sad that she passed away. So I just wanted to say that. We basically covered all the bases of the axe murder, the trial, and the jail. So next episode's either going to be about the third major haunted house I lived in, or I'm going to tell you about why they took my ear off and put it back on. That's a good story. But until then, take care of yourself. I got a lot of content on my YouTube channel. Concerts, archaeology, fireworks, church music. I just uploaded Gary Newman and Psychedelic Furs that I saw last night. So got that going. So check out my channel, like, subscribe, and I'm trying to get this going. I don't ever expect to get monetized, but I just want to share my life with y'all. So I love y'all much, and I'll see you next time on Weird Blues Tales. Love y'all. Bye, buddies.